So in order to make a UV gel nail polish that will cure with LED light, I'm going to start with a glass beaker and the stir bar that's already in there. And I'm going to add an aliphatic urethane acrylate. So this is a low viscosity monomer that's going to help me dissolve everything. And it has good adhesion properties and does not yellow. Now, there are lots of different ingredients we can use to make a nail polish, but I wanted something simple that would mix easily and would cure nicely with the LED light. In case you want all the exact ingredients, I'll put everything in the description that I'm doing in this video. The second ingredient that I'm going to add is it's called an oligomer. So this is a much thicker, it's a higher molecular weight acrylate that also polymerizes into the nail coating. So here you can see I'm kind of scraping that thick, colorless resin into that monomer that's already in there. Now, if you're keeping track of the recipe, I have added about 32 grams of the aliphatic urethane acrylate, and I'm adding 9 grams of the oligomer to it. That will beef up the viscosity a little bit and will also help me make a very durable finished nail polish. Now, if you do want to try this yourself, I use plastic pipettes to add the low viscosity ingredients. And when I'm adding the resin, I usually use what I call a couple of ink knives or paint knives. I'll put links in the description where you can buy these if you want to try it yourself. Next, I'm adding a crosslinker, and in my case, I'm using 1,6-hexane diol diacrylate. However, if I want more crosslinking or a harder finished nail polish, I can use multifunctional crosslinkers. In this recipe, I'm adding 7 grams of my crosslinker. And again, if I use higher functionality crosslinkers, typically they will actually lend to a higher viscosity. Now, the last ingredient in my nail polish vehicle is going to be the photo initiator. And I am using 2,4,6-trimethyl benzoyl diphenylphosphine oxide. That's just a very long way of saying TPO. Now I'm going to be adding 3 grams of TPO to this recipe, and I chose TPO for a couple of reasons. Now, some photo initiators tend to yellow when they start the polymerization reaction, but the main reason why I chose TPO is that the LED lamp that my daughter uses, and I'm going to be testing this with, uses a 365 and 405 nanometer LED. At these particular wavelengths, TPO is a good choice for the photo initiator package. With all the ingredients in for the nail polish vehicle, I am now going to turn on that stir bar, as well as add a little bit of heat to help that photo initiator dissolve. Here you can see after about 15 to 30 minutes, everything is in solution. Once I have confirmed that everything has dissolved and is in solution nicely, the next thing I'm going to do is go back to the scale and I'm going to measure out 8 grams of a pigment dispersion. And in this case, I chose to make a nice red nail polish. I thought that would be pretty cool to show my daughters. And I'm adding, I'm not just adding the pigment. This is a pigment which I've already blended into a monomer so I can use a pipette to add it. You really can add any pigment. It could be a thermochromic, a photochromic, or you can source some dry powders and use a little surfactant to get them in solution. Once I have my dispersion added, then it's back to the stir plate. I don't need heat at this point, and I'm just going to mix it for another 15 to 30 minutes until it's nice and homogeneous. I typically don't make UV curable formulations in glass, but I did want you to see how everything dissolves and goes into solution. So now I'm putting everything in an opaque container so that it doesn't cure prematurely, and I'm going to my daughter's nail polish station. With a small cup of acetone and some fake nails, I'm ready to go.
Dad, what are you doing?
Painting nails. Now, the truth of the matter is I don't exactly know what I'm doing when it comes to painting nails, so I'm just going to get a fine brush and open up my homemade LED gel nail polish and just paint a few of these nails. Then I'll use this LED curing unit of my daughter's and try and cure this nail polish and see how it works.
Make sure when you're done with that brush, you clean it off with acetone.
Okay.
Because you left all the red in there and it like stained it.
How much do I do?
Thin coats, or else it doesn't cure all the way.
Oh.
You don't want to like glob it on there.
How many thin coats do I do?
Like how many it takes for it to not be like see-through.
Okay. Is that how you clean?
Yeah. Looks.
Okay. So after a brief tutorial from my daughter, I now understand that you want to do multiple thin coats. And I've got one coat on, and now I'm activating this LED cure lamp. And again, this lamp has a 365 and 405 combo LED light in it for curing. And I set a timer for 60 seconds. And so it sounds like you can do 60 or 90 seconds typically per coat. So following my daughter's instructions, I have applied the first coat and I gave it 90 seconds to cure. And now I am going to apply a second coat. It sounds like this is pretty standard. And then I will put it in the cure lamp again. And with the pigment dispersion I'm using, this looks really red, so I don't think I'm going to need to put on any more than 2 coats. So then I will put it back into the cure system before applying a top coat. Now, the acetone actually is doing a nice job of cleaning up this recipe, where I just kind of soak it for a second and then wipe it on this paper towel. I'm going to clean the brush because what I've been instructed is that all of these nail polishes typically have a tacky surface even after curing them several times. And the final step is to give it a surface wipe with acetone that kind of removes the tackiness. I was actually kind of surprised to hear this because I thought the formulations would be a little bit more refined. I could probably improve the surface cure by manipulating the photoinitiator package or perhaps introducing an amino acrylate to help accelerate that cure. But for what it's worth, it looks like there's room for innovation in UV gel nail polish. So I did 2 coats. I'm doing 90 seconds.
Okay.
Each coat, then what do I do?
And then you put top coat on.
Don't I need to wipe it with acetone?
No.
After the top coat.
After the top coat?
Yeah. You don't have to wipe each individual layer.
Oh, okay. So I'm done with that. I clean your brush. What's top coat?
Don't use any of the ones in these white bottles. That's my really good stuff.
Base girl?
No.
Base gel?
Base girl. No. It's over there.
This one?
Yep. It's just top it off.
A thin coat of this, cure it for 90 seconds, and
Wipe
then
it.
acetone?
Yeah.
Take one of these with a little acetone, just like wipe it.
All right.
It should be like shiny and not sticky.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Have fun.
So there you have it. Once I remove this sample after the second curing step, I'm going to now apply a thin, clear top coat, and then it is back into the light for another round of UV LED for 90 seconds. Now, one thing that does become immediately apparent when I apply the top coat is how much thicker the top coat is as compared to my formula. So I think going forward, my viscosity is probably a little on the low side. That would be very easy for me to adjust by shifting the ratio of monomer to oligomer so that I could end up with a higher viscosity nail polish. If I had any problems with cure, I can also boost the amount of multifunctional crosslinker in order to get a tougher, faster curing nail polish. Now, I did check the nail polish as well as the top coat, and everything cured nicely, but I do feel that little surface tack that Madison was describing. So now I'm wiping it with a little acetone, and as you can see, none of the nail polish is coming off onto the paper towel, but as it evaporates, it does leave that nail now tack-free. So it sounds like that is a normal part of the process. So with the top coat being complete, I now have a very impressive red nail polish, very high gloss. It cured very nicely. There's no surface tack to it. It looks really good. So this LED gel nail polish is a success. Again, if you want to see how I did this in more detail, check out the description. I'll try and put as much information there as I can. Thanks for watching. Check out the description for more information and hit that subscribe button if you'd like to see more videos.